What's going on? Welcome to 6 to 6. It's your boy Industrial Dave. I'm getting right into it. You ain't gonna like this one, parental advisory. All the cons. Bad health. When you're traveling, everything is fast paced. The fast food, the restaurants, it's really hard to get into a routine. You know what I'm saying? You could be working 3 weeks, 2 days, and everything is fast. You're working a lot of hours, and you're like, you know what? I just want to go get something fast. Your health, bad. Eating out, bad. What else? Y'all not gonna like this one. I'm telling the truth. Married at 99. I said it. If you don't know what Married at 99 is, that's good. Well, what Married at 99 is, when you go to a job and you work, right? Let's say you're only working there for like 2 weeks. The problem is you're gonna be working a lot of overtime, right? So let's say your rate is $50 an hour, right? If you work 84 hours at $50 an hour, Uncle Sam is gonna give it to you, like straight up. There's no way around it. You're gonna get time and a half, double time, all that stuff at $50 an hour. You do the math. I'm not gonna do it, right? But check this out. If you're making $50 an hour, you're probably gonna gross, like with per diem and everything, maybe $5,800 to $6,200. Let's say you gross $6,200, right? Uncle Sam's gonna take that. But if you file Married in 99, you're gonna get almost the whole thing. But the problem is that you get used to it and then you go to the next job. Then you go to the next job and the next and the next and the next. And before you know it, now you've worked all year and you've made $140,000 and you've paid like $2,000 in taxes. I get it. I feel you. I'm telling you this so you can know, so you don't go into the same trap. Unfortunately, this is part of it. Divorces are extremely high in the field. Yeah, you're never there. You're gone all the time. You're gonna have to try to explain to the wife, the kids, like, hey, you know why you drive that nice car? Why we live in a nice neighborhood? Daddy's gotta go. I gotta work. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. It's part of the give and take. You're working all these hours so you can provide for your family. But unfortunately, it just comes with it. Like when you're on the road and you're trying to be a good husband, good father, you just can't do it when you're not there. You have to be there to raise your family, and you're gonna have to decide whether this life is for you or it's not. It's really, really tough. The divorce rates for people that travel in this field, they're high, man. Like straight up. I'm a statistic of that, I hate the way it happened, but it's a fact. On the other side of that, it takes a real strong wife to hang in there with you. A lot of people aren't built for that. You got to be ready for your husband to be gone, whoever, all the time, or even if it's your wife, 3 nights a week, gone, a month, gone. Divorce rates are high. You're going to miss everything. You are going to miss everything, okay? The kids' baseball games, you missed it. I don't know, tea party, you missed it. Back to school night, everything, the racetrack, whatever it is, whatever hobbies you like to do with the family or even at home, you're going to miss everything. You have to try to plan strategically. But it's tough because you don't know where the work is, right? You don't know when your next job is going to be, especially if you're just starting out and you haven't figured out the trends and the patterns of how this field works. It's really difficult. Even me, being 15 years in, it's a little bit hard to kind of see where the trends are at. And you just never know. So you just have to be ready to miss everything. I can't even tell you how many times I'd be home and I go to pick my kid up and then I get that funny look from the teachers like, who is you? I'm like, yo, you know why my son dressed like this every day? I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why my son looks good every day, but you don't see the father in the picture, right? There are some of us who are good fathers, good husbands, but we're just gone. We work on the road. Shout out to the military, man. They do the same thing overseas, fighting for us, so we can have our freedom and be comfortable at home. This one right here, if you got kids and you travel, this is tough because your kids they're not gonna understand. Especially if you've been traveling for a while, you have a good life, you built them a good life too when they were babies and they got older, they have no idea. They have no idea why they have a motorcycle. Like my kid's got one right there. He's got a dirt bike. They have no idea why they have a Switch, PlayStation, why they dress nice at school, why they go to a good school, why mommy drives a nice car. why they live in a nice neighborhood, why my kid has a stone glass shower in his bath. They have no idea. Dad is gone, and the kids, they don't know. They go to school and they might look in the line and see that there's another dad over there, and then they go to think like, you know, why isn't my dad here? You know, they have no idea that dad has to work, and that can be tough to try to explain that to your kids, man. So you know what, I gotta cross that off the list, but that's a tough one. And I kind of set this up. The wife is going to be upset that you are gone. That is an uphill, downhill, losing battle. I went through both of those phases. I've been married twice. I had one wife, no complaining while I was gone too much. Now the complaining starts like, hey, you're gone all the time. I need you here. I need you here. I need your support. And I'm sleeping by myself and everything. And I'm like, hey, I can come home, but my money's going to be cut 75%. Oh, we're good. We're good. You know? And then what happens when you get home? Now we can't go to Texas Roadhouse every other day. We can't go here every other day. We can't drive across town. We can't do none of this stuff. The money ain't coming in like that. Now here comes the fighting. This is what you said you wanted. Now look, I'm telling you, this is going on in America, probably all over the world too, in a lot of households. This is a real problem with any type of spouse that travels for work. The other spouse is going to be upset that they're not getting any help. They might feel alone. No matter if you have a maid or you got kids that help out, your wife, your spouse wants you there with them. It's just part of it. Y'all not gonna like this one? It's controversial. It is what it is. The mistress. Yeah, it's a high possibility that people that travel have a mistress, especially if you add all those things together. It's not working out at the house. You know, your wife is complaining and yelling at you and stuff. Mistress is just, it's been the way to go. I know people, you know, y'all gonna say it, but it is what it is. It's been around for years. Some people can balance it, some people can't, and you spend a lot of money that way. You know, when you're making so much money, you're taking care of home, paying the bills at home, making sure the kids are okay and all this stuff. Now you gotta spend money on a mistress too. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of energy, effort. It's a lot. I'm just saying, hey, I'm not gonna go no further on the mistress thing, but I'm telling you, it's very, very real. No one's gonna talk about it. Dave's gonna talk about it. Let's X that off the list. You can't plan anything. Trust me, when you travel for work, you can't do it. You cannot plan anything when you're traveling for work because you never know. The job is 6 months, a week, 3 days. You just never know, you know? So let's say you're out of town, you're in, I don't know, you're working in somewhere in California, right? But you live in Texas. The year's been slow for you, then all of a sudden it picks up. You got the work, you're in California, you're making this money. Right when you got to get the job, what happens the next day? That's your son's last baseball game, his first baseball game. What are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Are you gonna miss the call out for the job and you've been at home starving for 3 weeks? Or are you gonna go to the game? These are the decisions that you are gonna have to figure out and say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what I'm not gonna do, and let the future determine it. You know, like this is part of being an adult where you're gonna have to make these decisions. And the only way that you can plan something is if you're not working. That's it. If you're not working, you can do whatever. But we all know what happens when you're not working. You need the moolah to back it up. It's just part of it. Now, this one's funny. When you travel, especially if you're not working for a specific company, if you want to get home for holidays or whatever, the plane tickets are always high. Yo, my mother would always try to help me and say, hey, there's a deal on Southwest. There's a deal. Like, yo, I have been doing this same job for 15 years. I cannot plan anything. I don't know what airport I'm going to be at. I don't know what city I'm going to be in. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't know how long the job is going to be. The only way you could plan is if you're on a long-term job. If you're on a long-term job where you know you're going to be there for like maybe 8 months, even 6 months is decent, right? You're going to be on a job for 6 months or a year. You can kind of half-ass, kind of plan a little bit, but not too much still. You're going to pay so much to travel every time. You just never know. You could have one day and they come in and say, hey, the job is going to be shut down for 4 days. Are you really going to take the car and drive home for 12 hours, or you're going to get a plane ticket? You know what I mean? And especially if you're across the country, right? If you're in California, but you're working in California, but you live in Florida, are you really gonna drive 2,400 miles back home? No, you're gonna get a plane ticket and it's gonna be expensive. And then you never know when they call you back. It's gonna be a next day ticket. It's always, you never win. You never win. Check that off. Now this one right here, y'all go feel me on this one. This one sucks, man. You overcompensate for everything. You overcompensate. What do I mean by that? You're never there. You're always gone. If you're a husband, you're always gone. The wife's kind of upset. You know, she's not feeling so good. You got kids. Same thing with the kids. They're upset that you're not there. You've been gone for 3 months, 4 months. And what happens when you're gone? When you come back? It's like Gone with the Wind. You get the big hug from the wife, from the kids. You know, they're kissing all on you and stuff. You look at them and you say, you want to go to Disneyland? Look what you done did. All of the money that you done been working to save up for, you done spent it in 2 weeks. Going here and going there. And you're just so excited. You're so excited to see your wife. You're so excited to see the kids, the smile on their faces. If you are not disciplined, it's so easy to blow the money because you miss them. And you want to let them know that you love them, especially with the kids. Like, you're already not there, but this can be really damaging because you don't want to just buy their love, right? You want to show them that you're there, but it's tough when you travel. So a lot of times what happens, you overcompensate. Let's go to Foot Locker and all get matching outfits. Let's go get matching shoes, and let's go over here and, you know, you overcompensate, you spend way more money than you intended to, and now you got to get back to work because you went way over budget on something that you didn't need to. This is part of traveling. Now, there are ways where you can figure this out and work through it, you know, do the best that you can, but man, this is just part of it. And my last one, when there is no work. When I mean no work, I'm just saying, and let me back up a little bit. When you are new to this, it's a lot harder to find work. But when you are seasoned and everything, you know, when you kind of get to that real high journeyman level, you can find work. It's a lot easier. But even still, when there's no work, you try not to travel as much as you can, obviously, so you could be home to the family and stuff. But when there's no work, you got to go where the work is. You could be 1 gas tank away from the crib. You could be 4 gas tanks away from the crib. You know what I mean? East Coast, West Coast, Midwest. You never know. So you could be in 2 different time zones, you know, from your family. That is just part of it. And no one talks about the cons. This is part of it. This is part of the field. It's up to you to figure out how you want to deal with it, how you want to look at it. You know, if this field is for you, you never know. Tap in with me. If it's not, tap in with me. Leave a comment. Let me know if I missed something. Let me know if I'm on to something. And let me know if you've gone through the same thing. I do read the comments, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. You guys take care. Thanks for watching 6 to 6, and have an industrious day.